So I woke up this morning and, of course, get online, start looking at um, getting some things done today. I always like to clear out some AP and try to get it down to close to zero. And I noticed a new KWP player was here nearby. So evidently they're trying to tell people start moving out to the outer areas and all of that. But he has a bubble on and he's a level 16. And he's much bigger than all of the surrounding cities except for his other alliance mates right here. And I'm wondering, why does he have a bubble on? That makes no sense. I mean, after all, KWP is the only ones that are trying to dominate over here. Um, I have a suspicion over here, but I'm not certain of another alliance that may become strong. So there may end up being a war between them and KWP in the future, and I don't know how long it'll take, but I haven't found too many of their sister alliances. They may be buried in the fog, or they may be in other kingdoms because a lot of people just play this in a huge conglomerate. I am starting to learn. And a lot of them are country specific. A lot of Vietnamese have their groups that they like to play together and do a lot of things together, and it is a very appealing to the young men there. I've learned that from a new friend that I made through this game, at least part of that. A lot of it is also other interactions. So I thought, oh my word, is there something else going on? And I take a look around. Nothing really has changed. It's all about the same as before, and it's still just KWP trying to spread out, dominate, take over. I'm pretty sure WHS will have some issues with them over here because they're building towards this pass and this pass. They were thinking, I believe, of going for the altar, but KWP just went boom because they don't want anyone to have it but them, just like all these other altars. Over here, I do believe that CINF might get problems from them when their little slave colony over here actually speaks out and says, hey, they're not letting us near the two, and then they'll probably teleport over here and go after CINF. But I think CINF may be able to hold their own. They're just a little bit more powerful than ours was, but I don't know how experienced their players were. Our alliance was all newbies because all of the experienced ones left when they had the first interactions between the leaders. And then a few of the experienced stayed, but they were quiet, and then they left and joined KWP. Not few, really just one. A couple others ended up joining after the join us or be zeroed, but then they got kicked out because they weren't willing to attack um, other cities and an alliance that they had no issues with. In other words, they weren't going to be subservient, obedient. Uh, I don't know what the word is. I don't want to minions. They didn't want to be minions. I don't want to be too derogatory towards other players. Um, so these people, I didn't find this alliance. This alliance, this underline indicates there's a number of them, I believe. Sometimes they use symbols because they can only have so many four-character designations that are similar to theirs that haven't been taken because you can't use them more than once. But I have a feeling that underline means that they'll put a number or a symbol there, and there's a bunch of AOKs. I've only found one here in this zone, and it's small. And then NWTF looks small, but it does say Alliance Clan. It doesn't just say allies, it says Alliance Clan, which seems to mean that there's a stronger relationship of them working together. And here they call themselves the Vietnam Farmers Association. So this is not their main alliance. This is more of a feeding alliance. Um, they want to and I don't necessarily mean it's going to positively be a feeding alliance. That's a definition I know KWP is using for their academies is that, it's just we give you the people we want you to have, we take the people we want to take, and you do what we tell you to do. So they call it an academy, but it's like I said, it's a slave colony. So that's what I'm going to refer to them as, a slave colonies, because You just have to be under the thumb of their one leader that seems to be the warlord power leader. And they're only showing 36 out of 60, so they are being fairly selective as to who they're picking. But one thing I have noticed too is that nothing here seems to show hints of aggression, and I like that. So I actually reached out to them and said, I can help you with the understanding what's going on in the zone, and I shared some detail. Since it's not English as their favorite, as their favorite, sorry about that, as their primary language, my emails tend to be long, and I may not get a response, and that's okay. I just wanted to give them a heads up and let them know what was going on. Like I said, they were a little bit stronger than us. When I looked, they were stronger than they are now. So they may have moved some player or they may have removed some players, but I remember seeing them at around 15 million when I looked yesterday. And now they're at 12.6. And I believe when we were attacked, we were around 12. I should have taken screenshots, but um, since I'm making videos, it's kind of different than my PowerPoint presentation. So I take screenshots at times and then I think, oh, I'll do it as video, and then I regret that I haven't taken screenshots. So, but this is another one of the slave colonies. And this one, okay, here's the farmers one, the one that that initially it just said, um, work and do your job. Now it's got their big old fancy logo. So, so no, this is all part of it, the slave colony over here, and this is where the flag was taken over here to the west of this level 2 sanctum. And then this little MPJ that they're surrounding, I imagine they were just surrounding to keep them away from the two sanctums, because they are insistent that they're going to possess all of the sanctums. And so they will probably start coming down here towards this sanctum. So we'll see if they have any interactions with this one. I may reach out to this one and give them a heads up as well. And WFT seems to be growing slightly, and which is one of their sister alliances or um, ally. I don't. I think sister alliances clan is what they use. And here is an AOK, but it's really small because I did look for AOK and I didn't find them in what I had cleared already. So, and I could go in the alliance list and do a search and see if I find more in detail that way. But I don't need to put too much time in. This is just to give a general idea of what's happening in the area right now upon waking. And of course, we're still congregated here. Not everyone has left. I did encourage people, do what's right for you. I have a feeling there's a fair number of inactives or just people waiting. I haven't decided where to go, but I am leaning towards, I was hoping to hear from CINF, and I was just leaning towards hugging up here and just keeping in an area where we can just all do rallies together and be close together. And I don't see this alliance as being one that wants to dominate territory, dominate sanctums, dominate gates, because, like I said, this is a true academy, but I'll call it a round table since academy has a wrong meaning in this game. And I don't think it's ROK in general. I don't think it's in general in the Rise of Kingdoms game. I did YouTube searches for Rise of Kingdom Academy trying to figure out what do they mean by academy. No one has been able to tell me what it means. I've asked several players, and the way KWP described it, they didn't tell me what it means. They just told me, we give you this area, we tell you where to go, and we will give you low-lying players, and we will take your higher players, powerful players, and we will make you can go after other alliances, and we will help you go after those other alliances. So, in other words, a slave colony. It's not an academy. They didn't say anything about teaching anyone or helping people, become better players. Nothing about that. So I'm not going to use the term academy anymore for this alliance. So I'm going to call it a round table. I'm thinking of making it open to any players. They can come and go as they wish, kind of thing, and hopefully They'll learn while they're with us, and then they'll go find where their true home is. Because that's truly what's important with an alliance is you got to feel comfortable that you're with a group of players that you enjoy playing with. One of the reasons why I have stayed with this game is because of the friends I've made here. Now, mind you, I've made friends across so many different alliances, including alliances that attacked my first alliance that would be considered enemies by ROK terms. And they took us to war twice, but I finally showed why those wars started to the leaders, and the leaders stopped the second war. The first war, we ended up having to move. And the second war, I was able to show to them who instigated the war, and then that person came after me as a personal vendetta. Fun stories to share. So, anyhow, this is where it's looking this morning, and so I'm going to probably find, I haven't figured out, I don't know if anyone's really truly watching the video since you have to wait for transcriptions and all of that. But what I'm thinking is that I will move the alliance because it's so quiet now. Now that they think they've won because they took down the central fortress and alliance flags and grabbed the sanctum that they didn't, well, I shouldn't say that the Phoenix didn't want us to have. Cooley told me to take it. He was the alliance leader when he told me, and the Phoenix was adamant because I was questioning his method of working and not willing to be obedient and bend over and expose my you know what to him, that we had to go. And so now it's time, kind of. I don't know how much effort I want to put into it to start playing mind games. Well, not even mind games. I don't want to even call it that. I have a feeling the vast majority of those who are in KWP don't realize what the plan is. So it's time to start sharing that with people. So I kind of reached out to this guy because I was surprised. He came in with a bubble. He's a level 16. He's bigger than all of the other cities around him except his alliance friends. Well, I don't know if he knows them, so I shouldn't call them friends. His alliance mates, I don't know. It's hard to say because these bully alliances, they just draw people for the level of power of their city, not the personality of the player. And sometimes the players don't realize what they're getting into until they're in it. And then they start doing things only to realize this doesn't feel right. So maybe by giving them a heads up of what they're going to be asked to do and expected to do, they can choose more wisely what kind of alliance they want to be part of. So I opened a chat with this guy and I just reached out. I often, when I see a new person move in, and I don't care what alliance they're in or no alliance or whatever, I just send out a greeting. Hey, I see you're in the neighborhood. And I kind of see what kind of response I'm going to get. A lot of them, they just stay silent. Not many people like to use personal chat in games, or especially in this game. So I just reach out. Whatever happens, happens. It's kind of like that for me in real life, too. I have a people tend to, within minutes of knowing me, just reveal their souls to me. But I just have this openness that, here I am. Talk to me if you want. Don't talk to me if you want. So, but I reached out and I said, hey, neighbor, I just noticed you moved in the area. I'm wondering why you have a peace shield on. Is there a threat in the area I should know about? You belong to the only alliance in the zone that is threatening other players and alliances, so you should feel safe. Or is there another alliance other than KWP out there bullying less powerful cities and players? I've checked out a lot of this area and have had interactions with many alliances, and KWP, Crew, and KH seem to be the only ones employing bullying tactics to dominate, overpower, and remove weaker players. Will he respond? Don't know. It's not up to me to worry about that. I just thought, this is strange. I don't understand a level 16 even putting on a peace shield when the most powerful cities are in the same alliance with him. So we'll see if anything comes of that. And meanwhile, it's time to start communicating and letting the alliance that still remains know kind of what I'm thinking. I thought I would be able to irk them some more, make them chase me, but right now they don't seem to be all that concerned. I bet if I start taking this territory, they might. So I could put myself over here. And I have noticed this is part of the crew alliance team, so they're also moving in here to help dominate as well. So if you are aware, everybody who listens to my videos, crew does tend to work with um, KWP. If this is part of the crew, now I don't know. It doesn't say it's related. It doesn't say who they're part of. So that's interesting. So this is probably just because you have limited numbers of names you can use or acronyms you can use. So I don't see them now. I thought they were, but now it just says Crazy Warrior. So they were probably just wanting a CRW, and there are so many CRWs already taken. They took that one. So up here might be good. I could help work with these two, and this one over here, and this one over here. Maybe this one. This one will probably be threatened real soon. And maybe they'll come after us over here. I'll have to see what the rest of the alliance wants to do. If I do want to seem threatening, though, I'm going to have to build territory quickly. And if I do that, then these might start feeling threatened, and I don't want that to happen. But, everything moves so quickly in ROK, and trying to figure out motivations of people's playing, a lot of people just think they're playing the way I'm playing. They want the same thing I want. Your motivation in your game determines how you play it. I have alliance friends who just want to build their city and enjoy our camaraderie. And I'm all for that. I like that aspect of it. But unfortunately, every alliance I join, they make me an officer because I teach and I train and I speak up, and they just make me an officer. But the first alliance that I joined, and I was quiet for a bit, just playing and making friends through personal chat and watching the group chat because I'm more of a one on one. As soon as I started speaking up in the alliance chat, he made me an R4. He didn't ask me if I wanted to be an R4. He just made me an R4. That happens a lot in this game too, that they just assume you want a leadership role and that's something to be proud of and all of that, and so they do it. So every alliance I've been in, they've made me an officer. Some of there's some fun stories around that too, where I've warned them, you're asking for trouble doing that because I write long emails, and anyhow. So I was thinking up here we would be quiet, or there's a lot of room over here, but you know, I don't see any benefit to that except for this level 2 pass right here. They might come after us if I build there. That is an option, but I haven't reached out to these guys yet. So if I did that, I would probably want to stay small for a bit so they wouldn't come after me. That's not why I would stay small. I would stay small, and as a result, they may not come after me. So I don't know what to do about that. Okay, so these are probably the three options. So if my intention is, and if everyone is on board with that for my alliance, who in the main reason I'm making this video, the three options I'm looking at is up here, we just move in an area where we can have fun and play, and we just let people come and go. And I'm thinking I just want people to come and go, period. I make it anyone can join. I'll only remove inactives that are inactive for a certain period of time, and then I won't kick people out, but I may ask people to leave if it becomes necessary. Um, well, I might kick out people if they become hotheads. I don't like to work with hotheads. I haven't kicked them out of my other alliance, but I have sometimes spoken to them and other times just ignored them. Usually I've just ignored them when already there's somewhat of a relationship established, and I know that they'll calm down if they just start getting the big picture. A lot of people, they make rash judgments. They don't know what the big picture is right away. They don't capture the vision yet. Most people don't capture the vision right away because my vision's so much bigger than others. And my end goal is not the same as others. And so I should make that clear right from the start for my alliance mates. My end goal is not to capture the Lost Temple or be part of the people ruling the realm. I To me, that doesn't matter. My end goal is to help as many players become as strong as they can and as good as they can with their skill set and play the kind of game they want to play. Help them find the kind of alliance they want to fight. Help them find the kind of kingdom they want. This is going to be a kingdom of bullies just like my first one. And in my first one, I'm helping many people migrate, not just my alliance, but many alliances. So I have to do a training video on migration real quick, real soon. So these are the three options I'm considering. If we build up here, we can just build and have lots of rallies and have fun. We won't be perceived as a threat, and we won't be threatened for a long time. Down here, we could start being perceived as a threat because there's this level 2 right here. They probably want it for this one or this one, which means this one, which is the stronger, will probably start going after these after he finishes going after the altars. He's got this altar and he's got this altar. He's probably going to want that altar. He didn't get that altar up there. Now, mind you, first possession of an altar has great benefits, and that's why they want to possess it first. See all these incredible rewards you can get for first occupation, and that's why the Phoenix did not want me getting it. Coolio was fine with us getting it, but no, the Phoenix, it wasn't about the rewards. The Phoenix, it was about power. He was having his power challenged, and he didn't like that. So this is for a level 2, so it's much higher than for a level 1. Level 1, I think it's 500 gems, 500,000 of these, 375 of this. I think the teleport's in there, and I don't remember how many, 30 minutes. So there's great rewards. So it helps you become more powerful. So alliances should be trying to get this for their teammates. It's just that's not my motivation, and as I've mentioned before, if my alliance gets down to 2 people, that's fine. I'm okay with that because my alliance is about training people and helping build teams and helping build camaraderie, and you can do that just as well watching my videos and finding the alliance that works for you. So if I build, I'm thinking this area does actually look very promising to me, much more promising than up here, because I do think eventually they will come after me. Depending on how big I get, will determine how quickly they do it. And then they may be able to have that feeling of victory again. Or it might mean that the Phoenix opens chat again and stops blacklisting me and decides to start threatening me. That would be fun. And then the other option was over here. This would bring them towards us, I think, real fast and probably keep them off of everybody else. But I have a feeling they've overextended so much already that they have to start trying to build up their slave colonies. But I might be wrong. This guy who moved in he's looking pretty new if he's wearing a peace shield. So they may be just trying to get really powerful players here. So I think my next task shall be to start opening personal chats with individual players in this alliance and start sharing with them what the plan is. And the ones that want to be part of it, they'll be part of it, and the ones that don't, I can help them find other alliances to work with. So I think that should be my plan for my part, and then move the central fortress over here near this level 2 pass, just to see in the long term what they start doing about it. So I hope everyone is okay with that. I know so many of you are newbies that you're just going to let me do it. I know no one's going to speak out and say, no, don't do it, because that's been my experience with every alliance I've been in. No one seems to question my decisions. I wish they would, because I want to learn more, question more. Actually, there is a member in here who suggests a lot of things. They're not things that are doable yet, but I love that he suggests them. And but I think he gets frustrated because my responses are, well, we can't do that yet. But one time he wasn't getting a response right away, and he's like, no one's listening to me. And I'm thinking, we're all on different time zones. So that's another thing. People gotta learn. We're all on different time zones. Okay, signing off.